And we're going to turn now to Christiana Figueres, who was the UN climate chief, and you helped, as I said, shepherd in the landmark climate change.
I was the UN chief.
What did I say? I said that. You was. You was. You were. Let's not waste our valuable time. You've heard that. The United States is a huge contributor right now to trying to get their head around climate change and all of that. Do you see the Paris climate change unraveling as Myron Ebell just laid out?
No, I don't. For one thing, we've actually moved beyond ideology. We're now at the fundamentals of climate change action, which actually are about economics. And most countries, with a couple of exceptions, have actually decided that this is in their economic interest, that this is actually at $30 a megawatt hour. This is actually cheaper than fossil fuels. So it is better, it is cheaper, it is much more healthy. You can't have clean air if you're still burning coal. So you have health, you have much cheaper electricity, you have better food production, you have so many other benefits that are coming that most countries have decided this is in their economic interest, ideology aside.
Okay, ideology aside, maybe, but the practical effects of the leader of the world's only superpower not believing as you believe and talking very clearly, at least certainly from his former advisors' perspective, of a 180 on regulations, pulling the US out of its obligations under the Paris Climate Accord. What does that do for the accord and for slowing the temperature rise?
First of all, as he himself has said, Mr. Ebell doesn't speak for the administration, so we have to wait and see. But even if the United States decides to pull out, it means 4 years of legal work to pull out of the Paris Agreement.
So it's not that easy?
It's not very easy, no, unless they pull out of the convention, so there are many different ways of doing it. But in any event, let's leave the administration to decide what they're going to do. Even if they pull out one way or the other, it is not going to change the direction of the global economy. The direction toward decarbonization is set. And it's not set by ideology. It is set by economics, and it is set by the advance of technology. The fact is that technology is moving for renewable energies much more than for fossil fuel. That is the way that we're advancing.
Mr. Ebell brought up why consign other countries to poverty. For instance, he mentioned India and other places. China, on the other hand, has spoken out very forcefully. I mean, it took a long time to get China into the climate change tent, and now it insists on staying there. Could China be the leader if the U.S. relinquishes that? What would that mean?
Well, very much. And this has to do with jobs, actually, okay? China's interested because of jobs and obviously because of health and quality of air. Why jobs? Let me just use the example of the United States, okay? The fact is that 1 out of every 50 new jobs across the board, all sectors, all technologies, are in solar today in the United States, competing against every other job. 1 in every 50.
In solar?
In solar. Not even just all renewables, just in solar. In fact, to the point where there are more jobs in solar than in everything together, combining oil, coal, and gas in the United States. Now, which is the one job that is on the fastest growth into the future? Wind energy technology and technician. Wind technician is actually the one job in the United States that is going farther because that's the new wave beyond after solar. So this is about creating jobs. This is about really understanding where are we going to be 20, 30 years from now. And if the United States decides that they're going to take away the carrots, the incentives that the corporations in the United States have right now to invest in these technologies and pull out and diminish the capacity of the United States to export these technologies, any deficit in the market is actually filled in by someone else. So if that offer of technologies is pulled out of an increasing demand globally, it's going to be substituted very quickly by China and India because they have an industry that is competent and competitive, and they will move in very quickly. They, in fact, already are.
It's really fascinating. It's amazing that this debate is being reopened. Really, really interesting at this moment. Christiana Figueres, former UN climate chief, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.